Hey folks, it's time for the TWiP Community Photo Critique. This is episode number 176, Open General. This is TWiP. Hey, welcome back to another TWiP Pro Community or TWiP Community Photo Critique. I am Frederick Van Johnson here with my buddy and partner in crime, Mr. Troy Miller there. We're going to be talking about the latest critique submissions in the community. It was for the Open General topic this time around. So no excuses. Show us what you got. I think we got some good ones this time. What do you think?
We do. And we had a good turnout because it's open.
Yeah. Lazy.
Yeah. No. Everybody has their favorite, genre. So
yeah, no, some really good shots in there. I have a favorite. I think we talked about it. We agree on the favorite this time around, but that may change as we walk through. Because when
it's true,
sometimes we talk through them, we're like, oh, I didn't realize this is brilliant. But before we do that, during the mixer, if you folks weren't part of this past Friday's member mixer that we do every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, U.S. Pacific time, I announced that we're going to be migrating the community and the critiques off of Mighty Networks and onto another platform. So that transition or migration is underway now and will happen starting this week and through the end of the month. And then in February, we're going to hit the ground running in the new community, and the lights will go off on the Mighty Networks community as it is now. It may reemerge as something else in the future, a more niche community for something completely different. But the TWiP community is going to live over there, and you'll get information about how to, recreate your account over there and all that stuff. It'll be in a nice little tidy email coming up soon. So that said, normally we announce in these critiques, we announce the topic for the next critique. We're not going to announce it in this one because it will be announced in the new community. So if you want to participate in the community or in the critiques, you'll have to see it in the new area. It'll be easy. You'll be really easy to find. You'll be pleased with it. So Troy, you had a plan. You're one of the first few people that are in the new area. You've been kicking the tires in there, playing around with it. What do you think? Is it easier to use? Is it harder to use? Do you hate it? Be honest.
I love it. I think that it's a lot easier to use. Right off the bat, posting images and posting content is amazing, because in Mighty we weren't able to share animated GIFs. We weren't able to share videos directly in Mighty. And for Mark Charette, our 3D 360-degree shooter, he wasn't able to post anything in there. Now in Circle, it'll support all that. And the images, the image quality is actually better as well. There was a lot of compression on Mighty. So other than that, I think that the user interface is very self-explanatory, which uses a lot of the same symbolisms that we're used to seeing, in Mighty and other platforms. So I think it fits right in.
Yeah. And then when folks come in,
is a big deal.
The posting is crazy. Yeah, it's got a lot of power in there. As far as photo critiques go, so if you come down here, I'm in the new community now. That's what you're looking at. So if you click on photo critique, the way these are laid out is you'll come in, and these are basically placeholders as I built the community out. But this is obviously where the critiques will live. So in the latest one will be in the top left here. So if you click on that one, it basically brings you into that post with a little bit about that particular critique. And then you just post your image down here using, this little image button right there. That's it. And if it's a past critique and you want to go look at one of those, like for example, this one, the critique or the comment area is live. So this one will take submissions right now. But if you go back a week to 174, for example, you can see the comments are off. So once we are no longer accepting submissions for a particular critique topic, you won't be able to submit to it at all. So then we'll be moving forward. So that'll make things a little bit simpler as we move forward, and you'll be able to find all the critiques in one little clean area like this. And I think it'll be much better. The whole community overall is much better. The events area, we'll be doing challenges and things like that in there, and it's much easier. The challenges, for example, will run very similarly to how the critiques run. So here's a challenge, and the comments are open. It's open and accepting submissions. When that challenge is over, the comments will go off, and boom, on to the next one. So cool.
Right.
I'm excited.
Right.
I'm excited to get everybody over there.
And we're able to stream directly in Circle, right? Like, instead of using something which is going to be really cool, being able to create events natively within the community.
For sure. Yeah. You can stream in there, like at the top here, you see this little go live button. I have that because I'm an administrator. I think you may see that as well, or I may have to turn that on for you. But administrators see this go live button, and when we click on that, we basically create a title for whatever that event's going to be, create our URL, and then test the video and submit it, and then it shows up right in the activity feed there, and you can just join it and watch. So that'll be great for one-to-many things, i.e. presentations, or like we'll do our critiques in there, for example. So there's it's not a member mixer engine. We're still going to use Zoom for that until they add that feature in. But if we want to have 20 people in a room, it's not that tool. It's more of a presentation level tool, or courses or instructional, which is still kind of amazing because
it's cool. No, it's really cool. Yeah, it's a really cool interface. So it's going to be nice.
Yep. So heads up about that. You folks will get an email about that. You'll get an email about it, and I'll post about it inside Mighty Networks with all the appropriate links and what it's going to take to move over to the other one, all that good stuff. I'll get all that done within the next day or so.
Yes.
But enough about that. Let's do our final critique on Mighty Networks. How about that? Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Let's get this critique out. So this is it. This is number 176. Like we said, open general. First one up is the last one posted. Stephen Scharf, Putah Creek, just east of Monticello Dam near Winters, California. He shot this handheld on his iPhone 12 with iOS long exposure AI applied. You showed him how to do that, didn't you, Troy?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, but he went in and then took it into Lumenzia and did luminosity masking and all. Okay, cool. Let's take a look.
Yep. Yeah, it's very cool.
I like that. I like the black. See, black border works on this one because there's a lot of black in there.
Yeah, it's really nice. I really like this image, and it was funny when he first posted it. I thought, I wonder if he did that with his phone. It's quite powerful. I love the image. I think for me, and again, this could be a Mighty issue where, we're getting a little bit of compression in the tonal range in the image, but I wish that the highlight in the forest at the back was brighter, right? Like almost to the point of overexposure, not too much. Cause I want to feel like the light is brighter back there and darker where I'm at. And so it leads me through the scene a little bit more. I would love that. But other than that, I really enjoy it. I might crop it tighter and just focus in, no sky, and make it more horizontal and focus in on just the body of water and still keep that little distant tunnel back there, because I really like the light that's at the back.
Yeah, I agree. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, if you crop it down a little bit and lose that sky, it becomes it becomes not about the overall scene. It becomes about the body of water kind of leading line and taking you into the scene. But I like it this too. I like it.
I do too.
This is a cool shot. I really like this.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice.
Yep. And to be done with a phone. And one other thing, about the transition to the new platform for the community. Image compression. Currently, they don't have any limits on file sizes or any of that stuff, and they don't compress your images like Mighty does, if at all. Right. So, which is ideal for this kind of community where we have artists that spend a lot of time meticulously crafting their images only to have them run under a steamroller, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, for anybody listening to this episode and previous episodes, we will talk a lot about maybe in Mighty, the shadows aren't as compressed, or maybe the original image, that's hopefully all fixed going forward. So
yeah, I think it will be. Good stuff. Excellent. Thank you, Stephen Scharf. And up next, after Steven, is Eric Pronsky. He says, Bull Creek waterfall image taken a few weeks ago near my home. A friend asked me to take this image because it is a special place where she takes her kids to play. Okay, let's take a look. All right.
Yeah, it's
long exposure water. Was that the theme? Long exposure bodies of water?
Maybe we didn't know. Yeah, we were afraid to give anything too specific.
Yeah. Yeah. And Eric did what you said, right? No sky, he cropped in. He's focusing on the body of water and the motion.
Yeah. No, this is really, really great. I love the composition. I like the horizontal. I like the fact that we have some trees in the background, but the horizon, if you will, is up on the upper thirds, or only a third down from the top. So I think that's really wonderful. I think for me, I would probably do a little dodging and burning in this image, and I would darken the rock on the left and open up the highlights in the water from the center to the right, so that we're drawn there more than we are to the background. I'd probably bring the background down just a tad as well, to create sort of a layered tonality. So the foreground would be a little bit darker, then our midground would be the subject matter, and then our background would be a little darker.
Yeah. What about monochrome?
Well, now that would really look nice. I think it would. I think it would really look good. I think
a little increase of contrast, pop it, right? Nice.
Yeah.
Look at this. You see this body of water down here? You see the little ripples?
Yep.
I'm like, what is that? Was that a fish? Was that a fish that just... And if it was a fish that just jumped up, would have been cool if you had caught it. That would have been interesting. Well, you can't catch it at the speed of shutter, but you'd have to composite it in there or something. But
yeah, it's probably just the water twirling, but you're right. It could be anything. Like, who knows? Yeah.
Lovely shot. I want to go there right now. Spot. I want to be sitting right on the banks up here, just chilling right there. With a book, a real book, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Yep.
All right, Eric, thank you. Great shot. Excellent. All right, Nora Zanatnas is up next. She calls this one STEAM, Geothermal Hydroelectric Plant in Iceland. Ooh.
Yeah, very cool. They're letting all the hot air out.
Yeah, exactly. Hot something. Look at that.
No, this is really great. It's very otherworldly. I really like that a lot. I think that
it's the pop of those clouds. The pop of those clouds on that. Otherwise, it's like a low contrast background with high contrast clouds on the front of it.
Yeah. Now the clouds. Those are one of those kind of things I'm struggling with a little bit, because the super dark, shadowy edging to the clouds feels very unnatural, and it feels like maybe like the clarity or dehaze or something was pushed a little too far on those clouds, or maybe that they were darker and that they were brought up and that edge was left. It may not be the case. I'm not saying that it is, but it gives me that sense of that.
I like that though. There's something about it. I think that for me that makes the image, because it sells it that those are just sort of, it's almost 3D, right? Because they're popping out of there. I see what you're saying, right? If you're going for like 100% photojournalistic realism, then you see that and you're like, okay, why does that look so special? But barring that, looking at it, it's really interesting. And I know the subject of this is the steam coming out of those geothermal stacks there.
Right. And that's great. I mean, that's the artist's interpretation. It just feels unnatural, because the light that's hitting the building and hitting the smokestacks and hitting the other clouds feels it's not continuous. It's not congruent or whatever. It doesn't feel right. Like the steam there is too bright. And so it just kind of throws me off a little bit. But with all that said, I love the image. I think it's a very powerful image. I appreciate the fact that the horizon is on the lower third, and it's obviously, this is a photo of the steam towers that are rising up from this plant, and the monochromatic nature of this really, really sells it well. So it's very nice.
I agree. I like it. Very nice. Thank you, Nora
Well done.
Zanotness. This image is how I like my steaks, or how I don't like my steaks. Sorry. Well done. All right, Joshua Summerfelt is up next. He says singing a song shot with his Canon EOS RP with a 150 Sigma. All right, let's take a look.
Yeah,
Joshua, The World Unseen. Joshua needs to publish a book, like a photo book.
Know.
The World Unseen or something.
It's crazy. The colors in this are just fantastic. I don't know that you could plan something that well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just the fact you get that the red of the bee and then the blue of the flower, and then the whole background is that nice, soft, subtle green.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastically done. I think I watched him edit this on his Twitch stream, and the care that he puts into tweaking these is quite phenomenal. I'm very impressed. Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, these are cool. These are cool. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, no comments. I am not an expert in this area, but looking at this as just a novice consumer of fine imagery, I love it. I love like you said, the color, the pop of the insect on the flower, the color of the flower, the background, and the bokeh making it pop out. And this makes me want to get in closer to see what's going on in here. Like, is he or she or they grabbing for this petal here? Like, what's this on the antenna here? Is that pollen? I want to be closer so I know those and have those answers. But yeah, looking at it just like this would look great printed big and framed or something hanging on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, this is meticulously handled. Just a couple things, getting really nitpicky, is there's a highlight circle in the top right hand corner that I would have taken down. I know Joshua spends a lot of time detailing these things out, and then you've got in the crux of the flower, in the center, the green there seems slightly brighter than the actual background below that.
Below here,
in there, yeah, right in the center. No, right in between.
Oh,
the petals,
in there. Okay, right there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it's brighter than the area next to it. And then of course the the polleny tops of the flower. The yellow there. They're very hot. So
yeah,
I don't know if those can come down at all. If not, they're not significant, but just some very, very small little nitpickery.
What did he say he shot this on? Where is it? 150 macro. Okay, 2.8. Got it. Mm-hmm. At f9. Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's an amazing shot. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, I like it. Very nice. All right,
well
coming
done.
Up next is Phil Lewenthal. Let's take a look. Wait, let me go back and see what he said here. He said, another long exposure image from Sea Ranch. One thing I'm curious about is whether you think this would be better without the bottom half, for example, as a panorama. Oh. So yeah, like cutting it like right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely think it would be better cropped as a panorama.
You do? I don't know. I kind of like this.
I really do. But I want to get rid of the large rock on the right and left, but I like the two little rocks to stay in the lower left. I think that's sort of the foreground, and then the birds are the middle ground, and then the rock behind that is the background. Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, I just rewatched Godzilla versus King Kong, and this scene feels so surreal because they don't look like little rocks with little birds on them, right? They look like mountaintops.
They do.
In clouds, and those are like big pterodactyls or something. So
yeah. I was thinking Clash of the Titans. This looks like some Greek above the cloud, like you see Zeus sitting up there or something, you know.
Yeah.
It's very surrealistic. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
it's
do like
wonderful.
these figures. I mean, even, you know, the birds back there give you a sense of scale. Without these birds, you probably would think these are mountains and this was taken from an aircraft or something, right? But with the birds in there, you know, and I was thinking that when I first saw the shot until I started examining it, and then those are birds. Unless those are some giant ass birds, that's not that.
Right.
Though this is a small scale shot. Yeah. So yeah, really good. I think it's two shots, though. I think it could be that panoramic shot where you split it, like you said, or like as is. I kind of like it as is, too, because it has that kind of river of nothingness flowing through the middle, which is really interesting to me. But
absolutely. A couple recommendations or suggestions to this type of imagery is it looks like, you know, we have this infinite depth of field. And I would suggest that doing these kind of shots is to try to shoot shallow and allow the foreground and the background to fall more out of focus. I think it'll create more depth in your image. You know, take this image, for example, if you were to bring it into say Photoshop, or you were to do this in another application where you could blur or soften the focus in the foreground and the background, I think you would create more depth. And it would really lend itself to that. Also, and we don't know if this is mighty, but I think I would try to get pure black in here somewhere, and try to have as dynamic of a tonal range as possible. I feel like the shadows or the blacks are a little flat, so I would try to find a pure black somewhere and then gradiate off of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if that makes sense.
It does. Fun shot. And back here, like in the background, what are we looking at back there? It looks almost like a city or something. You see that?
Yeah, that's what's amazing, right? Like you could composite a castle or something in there, and you're totally good with it.
You can put a dragon over here or something.
Yeah, I think it's those sea palms that he mentioned, which they're actually quite short. They're only maybe 8 inches. It's kind of like a little seaweed that lives on top of the rocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they look like little trees. Yeah, they look like trees. So our brains are like, oh, those are palm trees. They're 50 feet high, you know?
Yeah. Good job, Phil. Thank you. Thanks for sharing this. Really cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
And he hasn't been infected by the border and keyline virus yet. So look at that.
Not yet. We'll get him.
Not yet. All right. Next up is Tom Buckhout. Flag start at the classic car drag races at the semi-annual Eagle Fields Classic Drag, shot with a Canon 5D. Cool. Used to work on these things, didn't you?
I can just smell that. That's great. I love it. Yeah, I dig the treatment as well. Sort of that, you know, desaturated color, which feels very retro. You know,
50s. This I almost hear like Grease music playing. You know, the soundtrack to the Grease.
Yeah, I mean, you could almost sell this as a classic old world photograph, except for the modern Honda generator and, you know, a couple of little things in the frame. Mm-hmm. But I dig it, and I appreciate the attention to like the vertical poles and, you know, that kind of thing. I do wish that we had a little more space camera left. I feel like that's a little too tight on the car in the right lane. Yeah.
I agree. Just a little bit. Not egregiously so, but yeah, it could use a little bit of space over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a bit.
I like this guy jumping. That's really good.
Yeah. Peak of action, good. It would have been better if we get a little smoke on the tires, but
no, for sure.
Yeah, depending on the class, they may not do that on launch. So
now, is it true when these dragsters smoke out and you see all that smoke billowing behind like these long, crazy dragsters or whatever? Do they pour bleach on the ground on the tires to
No.
make the smoke? Is that a myth? That's a myth.
No, that's what the hot rodders do to show off when you're like street racing. Just to look cool,
Okay.
but
Yeah. Yeah. Doing donuts in the intersection, right?
no, and that's only if you don't have enough horsepower to actually crack the tires loose. You need water or something.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but no. When they do the burnouts, that's legit pure horsepower and melting rubber.
Taking miles off of those tires, minutes.
Yeah, well, they need it. They need it to stick.
Yeah. Cool shot though. Love it. I love it. I love the feel of the shot. It's very retro, very 50s. The grain obviously intentionally added, so it's an intentionally distressed photo. Very nice.
Yep. Very nice. Yeah, well done.
All right, Tom Buckhout. Thank you, sir. Up next is Craig Stamfley, Through the Portal.
It's very interesting. I mean, I know what I see how he rotated the image, but
takes you a minute though, because it's so damn sharp.
It is. It's very sharp, which is really nice. I love the black and white. I think that's super cool. I love the way that he's rotated the image, and her body angle and her pose and everything is just so surreal. I kind of like it if it was rotated counterclockwise, so that it felt like she was falling, like top down
and about to hit the water. Yeah, like a skydiver.
Like a skydiver. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I that would feel more natural to me, but I mean, I like it this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree. That'd be cool that way. I like it this way too. The only I don't want to say criticism. The only change that I would make is, again, we're a little bit close to the edges of the frame with her. It's not bad, but I would love to have just a little bit more breathing room around her, to give us more of a sense of place too. And maybe he cropped it like that just to sell the illusion more, so we see less of the environment. So it's that much harder to peg that she's, in a pool. But yeah, just a little bit more padding around the subject, I think.
Yeah, and I would experiment with that, but I'm okay with it the way it is. I think it creates a lot of tension. And I can see that, Craig took a lot of effort to make sure that, her toe from the frame right, her knee, bottom left corner, her hand, top left corner are very intentionally spaced and balanced. So I do like that. The thing that I really struggle with this image, though, is I feel the reflections have been manipulated, and which is fine, but there's a distortion that's going on with that black line up around her left hand, around her hair. And, my thing is that if you're going to do that, lean hard into that as opposed to just do it in a couple areas. And because it doesn't make sense, right? Like some of those shadows in that black line, there's some streaking going on in there, and that may be optical, but there's also some weird distortion going on in that top left corner. And maybe it's optical. Maybe it's actually the water distorting it and making it look weird, but it doesn't feel like that. So
interesting.
That was really the only thing, Yeah. And then
I wonder how much work he did on this image, because I know there had to be bubbles in there. Right. And he had to have taken them all out of there. Right. Craig, you got to let us know in the comments. Did you do a lot of bubble work, or was this as is?
Well, yeah. And that was going to be my other thing is that, this is so sharp that you can see that, that she's got sort of that prickly skin, right? Like it's cold, but around her left knee, it's super smooth. And around on her right leg by her knee and her calf and on her shin, it's smooth again. And so I don't know if that's just natural or if there was some, work done there,
Yeah. And again, we're nitpicking, right? The average non-photographer that just looks at this shot is going to just be blown away, right? But
when you have an image this good, we have to get that picky.
Yeah. And we got to keep Craig's ego in check too. So
Yeah. Yeah, but I will say, to our friend Craig Stampley, this is definitely one of your best images, one of my favorite that I've seen. This one and the other reflection that you did. I think that he's developing in a way that I can see an improvement in the work and his vision being communicated. So
yeah, yep, very nice, very cool. All right, Craig
bravo.
Stampley. Yep, bravo. All right, next up is Amy Brooks, Heading Home. Look at this.
Yeah, that's great. I hear that Roadrunner going beep beep.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, this is super cool. I really love the horizontal or the line of the dust cutting through this nice curve and sine wave type look.
I'm wondering if Amy shot this on her way home, and that's why she calls it Coming Home, or is this, are you illustrating this person coming home? This looks like a plane shot, right? I feel like it's a from an aircraft window shot, or at least a drone shot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is great, and it's hard to tell, right? This could be at the top of a mountain, could be on the side of a road, could be from an airplane. Like, we don't know. Which I think is super cool. Not actually knowing.
Yep.
For me, I think I would crop off some of the bottom. I would crop up just enough to get that little left hand bend out of it from the bottom.
To get this bend
much lower.
Right here?
No, lower than that. Right there, right in there somewhere. And when I say the bend, in that.
This bend. Okay.
In the gutter or something. Yeah. I just feel like that lower left corner, that extra twist and the extra highlight that's in there, that we can do without that. So just cropping up the tiniest little bit, something like that.
Yeah, like down there. Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in there would be nice. I would play with the crop for sure. But the color's great. That big, I love the color.
Yeah, and I love the bisection of that. How the Roadrunner, let's call it the Roadrunner, is cutting the image.
Right,
almost in the middle. And maybe you're right. As you crop this, if you were to crop it to your suggestion, cropping it so that our little dust cloud is more in the middle of the shot, that would. I don't know. I kind of like it like this, though. This was a tough one. This is a tough like this.
One. I think more for me is that channel that's in there is feeling too bright. So maybe bringing down the highlight in what would be that dirt channel through the middle. Maybe bringing that highlight down would take less focus off of it, which I think would help a lot. Either crop it or maybe burn it down.
Yeah. Cool shot. Good eye, Amy. Look at you.
Yeah. Nice stuff, Amy.
Yep. Heading home. All right. And our next shot up is from Michael Rhino. He says, my entry for the open photo critique is this image that was taken just before sunrise a few weeks ago during a frigid morning in Boulder, Colorado. Wow. He has an embarrassment of good scenes.
He lives in a target-rich environment. There's
totally,
no doubt.
Totally. He's just like, let me just hang my camera out of the side of the car, click, You get these amazing images. No, we know he works for these, but yeah, look at this. Look at the smoke or the mist coming up off of the frozen lake, and yeah, you can feel the crispness of the air in this shot.
Oh yeah. No, this is really an amazing image. I love the toning of this. I love the the colors and that subtle winter, coldness. I wish there was something in the sky. I think that vacant blank spot in the top left-hand corner, or the top left-hand portion, is really sort of.
But what would you want to see up there? Clouds or like what?
More color. I mean, color would be something. If there was more color, very, very thin, wispy clouds would be wonderful. A distant mountain, it doesn't have to be much, but it feels like a void.
Maybe in just a gradient of sky, right? Just so that there's some texture up there.
Yeah,
But I don't
possibly.
know. I don't dislike it like this. I mean, I like the sparseness of it, and I think that void in the upper left adds to the isolation of the shot. It makes it feel even more. Not that he's going for lonely, but it feels lonely and cold and kind of like, okay, this is a spot where humans don't typically go hang out, right? That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I really feel the hero of this shot are the trees on the right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think that the left half of this image currently is lending a lot to the trees on the right. I don't think they're supporting it. And so for me, it's like I wish there was something in the sky on the left, and then it would feel more complete.
What if you just crop that left side off completely, like right here?
Yeah, I mean,
then you lose the mist.
That too. Right, and you lose that. And for me, I wouldn't have a problem throwing clouds in there. Compositing clouds or a distant mountain or something like that. And I think it would
hot air balloon,
change a hot air balloon or a giraffe. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have to be very subtle though. It would have to be very subtle, but I think it needs just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. You get lost in this shot.
This would be a cool place to see if you can get a moonrise or a moonset over there someday,
I know Michael Rhino has an infrared modified camera body. What would that have done in a shot like this? Would it have benefited?
Maybe. I mean, it depends. If there's any sunlight coming in, he said this was in the morning, so there's a good chance that it would have just created a lot of dramatic contrast, and you may have had that background go darker, depending, where the sun's coming from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it.
I do. Yeah, it's really nice. I feel like there should be like some like elk or like a unicorn walking through the mist down there.
There you go. Yeah, or an elf with a flute,
or an elf,
or a minotaur or something.
A dragon. Just put a dragon in there.
Done. Yeah. What scene cannot benefit from the dragon being added to it?
This is true. I'm down for dragons. Add dragons to everything.
There'd be dragons. Karen Sweeney. Speaking of Loch Ness, Karen Sweeney for the open critique, The Cottage by the Loch, Nikon D850. Let's take a look.
Nice.
See, now here's a shot. I mean, this is the loch, right? So she could have put Nessie in there.
I want to go hang out at that house. I want to be there for a long time.
I don't. I feel like there's a guy with an axe living in there.
No, you just got to be friends. You just got to help them chop the wood. That's all you got.
I don't know. Okay, I love this. I would love to go to this house. It depends on the soundtrack that's playing in the movie, right? Because if it's like Jason, kill.
You're so funny. Don't watch those movies, and you'll never be poisoned by them. Right?
Oh man, this is exactly where those things happen. You escape the house, and you end up running through those woods, being chased with somebody that's walking normally while you're running at full speed, and they still catch up to you.
Okay, all right.
See, yeah, I'm putting that in your head. I'm putting it in your head. Look at that.
No, that stuff don't bother me.
All right.
So Karen's image. We're going to talk about Karen's image now.
No more horror. No more horror.
Paranoias.
No more Jason Voorhees.
No more Jason.
All right. So about the shot, yes, I love the shot. I love the low contrast background and the pop of the white haunted house in the foreground. It's very cool.
I do too. I really like it. A couple suggestions is I would burn down the reflection in the water a little bit. I think it's a little bit hot. Mm-hmm. And it's appropriate. I mean, that's probably what the reflection looked like, but I think I would take it down just a tad. And I would crop half of the distance from the cottage to the left edge of the frame. I would crop half of that off.
On this side?
And yeah. And the reason is if you look at the bushes or the tree line on the right, and notice how it sort of forms a triangle as it comes to camera left, and then you've got the cottage and you got the little road. If you crop it right at the end of where that little road is or whatever, now you've got this wonderful triangular formation with the cottage right at the tip. And I think it's a nice, really nice composition.
Yeah. Very nice. I like this. Yeah, what a good choice for black and white too. And again, the border works on this one.
Borders work on everything.
Oh, they do not. It's like saying ketchup works on everything. Come on.
It is not like that at all.
Everything could use a little garlic salt, even cereal, right?
Okay, well, it's garlic salt, not ketchup now. Come on.
Okay, cereal on ketchup, or ketchup on cereal. Let's do that. No, I like this. I like it. Yeah, this one's cool. Again, like, I don't know. Our brains are in this compositing area for some reason. So I'm thinking, Loch Ness in there, or white unicorn standing on the hill right here, or bride with white dress on the hill up here. Yeah,
that's funny. Well, here's sort of a reality to that sort of mental condition that you have there. Is when you go to a place like this and you look at a place like this, think about in your head, like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great if there were some deer up on the hill, or if there was a boat in the water, or if the swans were here. And then maybe, if that can actually happen, you come back when that works. Because if your brain says, if Frederick stands there and says, gosh, it'd really be great if there was, Nessie in the water, well, like, oh, maybe the water does need something, right? Mm-hmm. And there's fishermen on this lake, and maybe I need to wait until,
wait, did you see that? Did you see that?
Did I see that?
I just saw a woman in a white dress peeking that little window right there. You didn't see her? She was just in that window.
It's all in your head. Take your medication. You'll be fine.
I'm cracking the pills in half. Come on. Oh, man. I love it. Great shot, Karen Sweeney. Good job. All right. Up next, I think this is the last one. Yeah, because after that is that window light. Yeah. Which, when we move to the new platform, we won't have to guess like that because it'll all be self-contained per critique.
Right.
Peter Levshin with his A7R2 infrared mono lake at night. Is it mono or mono? I don't
know. It's mono.
It's mono?
Mono's a disease.
No, mono is one channel of audio.
Okay, there's that. Well, I get to tell my little story. I was in Bridgeport visiting some little center in there, and I made the comment that, we were over at Mono Lake, and this sweet little old lady leans into me. She says, honey, mono is a disease. That is she says, mono is a disease. That is, I'm saying it wrong. Mono is a disease that is Mono Lake.
Yes.
I can't even say it right. Anyway, I just remember that. Whether it's
so, how would you make the sentence if you had mono and you went to Mono Lake?
I don't know. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. I just remember.
And your name was Mona.
Right.
Oh man! All right, come on, stay on target, Luke Skywalker. Stay on target.
I know. We're not. We're getting hungry, and we've had too much caffeine.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is right now.
I love this. I really do, and I was there. I think when he took this image. I think it's killer. Now, in the sake of pure creativity, maybe drop some stars in there.
Why not?
Bring something. Yeah, bring something in there. A moon, a distant moon. But I think that big, vacant, negative space rarely works on its own. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. And this could be otherworldly. When I look at it, I think, you know how my brain works, right? So I think otherworldly. I think, this looks like what a landscape shot on Venus might look like with one of those methane lakes you know. That's with this, you know, and like compositionally, the thing that takes me out of this image a little bit, and I agree with the, you know, adding something to the top, you know, if you're not a purist, right, and you want to alter the image, stars would be great, something like that up there, but I would take this rock formation out. I would heal that out of there because my eye keeps looking at it, and then I go down there, it's like, is that a crocodile, you know? And then you know, the other thing, because of the way that he handled the reflections here, this makes me think of an audio waveform, speaking of mono/mono, right? And audio, this is what an audio waveform looks like, you know. Maybe this is one channel at mono lake. Right?
Oh my god. I can just see everybody shaking their head right now and be like, okay, just
hey, sorry. Hey,
I get it.
I kind of want to bring this into an audio program and play it and see what this actually sounds like.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't it be weird though if you did that? You brought this photo into an audio program, converted it to an actual waveform, and played it, and it's a secret message.
What Mono Lake sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a secret message. You know?
Yep.
I love it. That's a plot of a movie. You're welcome.
I know.
All right. So that no other changes to this aside from maybe adding some detail to the sky?
I don't think so. No. I think we're good. I mean, if I was getting really picky, I might blend the horizon a little bit better. You've got that really dark horizon coming down right where it touches the water behind the tufas, mostly camera left. I would blend that horizon a little bit better. I know that's water going off to the horizon back there. So,
but unless you know, then it looks out of place, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. Cool. All right. So what are your thoughts on favorites? Is your favorite still the favorite we discussed before we started?
Yes. I mean, yeah, I'm going to go with that one.
Okay. Yep. So we agreed that I kind of like, a close runner up would be Craig Stanfleet's, because I kind of like that shot. I like what he did with the creativity of rotating it. But I think we agree that this one is very surrealistic and very impressive. Yeah.
I really like this a lot.
Yeah. You could stare at this one. I swear it definitely looks like one of those, like a painting of Greek gods or something, where you'd see gods sitting on those mountains, or some fantastical creatures flying through this or something. It looks very, very surrealistic. So
it absolutely does. And I think that one of the things is that, you can look at this image for a long time and you can still find things that are entertaining, and you want to keep looking, and your brain tells you all kinds of different stories. And I think that's powerful imagery. I think that's what's really wonderful. And the fact that there's 3 of those birds sitting up on that rock, the 3 works better than 2 or 1. Right. And so you've got all of the symbolisms and stuff happening in this imagery that's really wonderful. So,
yeah, very good, Phil. Good job.
Well done.
Like Troy likes his steaks. Well done.
No, I like my burgers well done. I like my steaks medium.
Oh, interesting. It depends on the burger. You got to go to the right burger place. Oh, I'm starving right now. Stop talking about food. I'm starving. I need some food. In-N-Out burger. All right, cool. We'll leave it right there. Normally at this time, this is where we issue the challenge for the next one. But like I said, we are moving over to the new area. So you will get the new challenge over there and via email and a bunch of other ways. So that's just a way for us to start herding the cats and moving the party to the new platform versus this one. So, or Mighty. So this was the last Mighty one. How you feel about that? That's 176 episodes on Mighty Networks, and now we're moving.
We've gone from what? We went from Slack, to.
Oh, you want me to outline it? No. We started on Slack and hit our head against the capacity ceilings there, so I had to move. Then I switched it to in-house on thisweekinphoto.com using a plugin called Buddy Boss, which looked great, but performance didn't match the looks of it, so I had to leave that. Then after that one, we came here. Right. So that was there's Mighty after that one. And now this transition over to this new platform, which is called circle.so, by the way. The transition to the new platform gives me everything that I thought I was going to have and more with the Buddy Boss self-hosted solution. But it's software as a service. So it's managed by a well-funded team of really smart people. And I get to just get a username and password and manage it. I don't have to worry about servers or hackers or malware or any of that stuff. So
I'm excited about the upgrade. That's another evolution of TWiP and our ability to do these programs and the content delivery. I'm looking forward to the content delivery within Circle. I mean, I personally love the idea that I can create animated GIFs, because we've been playing with Plotaverse and talking about NFTs and all these animation things. And now I can just drop them right in the feed and go, hey, here you go.
Totally.
Before that was not possible. So,
and you know what? It supports a wide variety of different file types inside of a post itself. Just a long list. And one of those is Loom. And I know you and I both have Loom accounts. So now we can just record a quick, if someone says, hey, well, how do you do so-and-so? We can record a quick Loom and just drop it right in there, and it's embedded in there, which is really cool. We're going to use that for a lot of the challenges and stuff. But yeah, it's just a more I don't want to bash Mighty Networks except for their, the heavy-handed image compression. They deserve being bashed on that. But the Mighty Networks platform is mature, and there are hundreds and hundreds of communities that are run on Mighty successfully. Some are making 6 figures a month, on membership. Some of them have thousands and thousands of members, and they're humming along. The needs of our community are kind of unique in that we do this kind of thing a lot. We need non-heavy-handed image compression. One of the cool things that'll be in the new community, I think I'll probably turn it on within a month or so after we officially launch it, but the ability for members in certain areas, like paying members, will be able to post videos in there as well. So if someone like a Renee or a Stephen Sharf or somebody wants to give a short snippet of how they did X, Y, and Z, or behind the scenes, they could post the video directly in there on the platform without having to upload it to YouTube or Vimeo and embed it in the platform. So yeah, lots of just
that.
It's cool. It's really cool. It's got lots of stuff like that. It's almost like they waited, because the company's is like a year old, right? It's almost like they looked at Mighty, which I'm sure they did, right? They looked at Mighty and the other solutions out there and then said, hey, how can we do this for 2022 and beyond? What would that look like? And then they built it, and here we go. Bob's your uncle.
Right.
So.
Right.
Cool. All right. Let's end this one. Any other thoughts you want to throw out there before we pull the curtains?
Everybody just be safe. The whole world's still struggling a little bit, and let's hang in there. Let's get through this.
Yeah, I agree. Yep, and we will get through the end of this. Yeah, we'll come out of this in 2026 all good. I'm kidding. It better not be 2026. But yeah, I 100% agree. And we will see you guys, for the folks that show up to our member mixers, we will see you this coming Friday. Otherwise, keep an eye out for that email from me on the transition, and we're off into the races. All right?
Yep.
See you, everybody. Take care.
Bye, y'all.
This is TWiP.